What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from IRL Season 5, Round 10, live at Abu Dhabi, F1 2018 on the PS4 platform. Waiting for a couple of drivers to sign in, and we're going to get this 28-lap race underway. First, we're going to do a short 18-minute qualifying, and then we'll do a 50% race here at Abu Dhabi, which has been hit and miss over the last few years with IRL. As we get to some quick track facts, we've only raced here twice. Even though this is the 5th season for IRL, we've only actually raced at this track 2 times. We didn't race here in Season 1, and we raced here in Season 2 and 3, and we didn't put it on the calendar last year. It's definitely not a fan favorite. It's definitely not a driver favorite track, so we left it off of the calendar last year. But back in Season 2, Kiki Malika had won the race, and in Season 3, Cameron Weston Edwards had actually won the race. And that was an interesting season with Season 3, because when Cameron Weston Edwards won the race in Season 3, that actually put him into the lead at the championship, and he had maintained that all the way until the final round of the season. But Gavin Parker's win at Suzuka put him in the championship point lead by 1 point over Cameron Weston Edwards. So Edwards lost out on the Season 3 championship by 1 point. Neil Dolan won the pole back here in Season 2, obviously no longer with IRL, and Peter Van Haag had won it back in Season 3, and again, no Season 1 race, no Season 4 race. But in regards to that, there's no percentage of pole to win ratio here. If you start on pole, chances are you will not win the race, and that actually rings true with the IRL F2 race yesterday. Marcel Haller had won the pole position, but he had failed to win the race yesterday. So, should be an interesting race today for sure. Looks like we're going to have 13, 14, 15 drivers. Got a couple of guys joining in on the live chat. So we'll run down the driver list here in a minute. We'll go over round 9, what happened in Monza last week here as well. A really interesting race last time out. Weather was definitely a factor at Monza. Jack Hoyle actually won the pole position in the dry. The rains came mid-race at Monza, and Jack Hoyle went on to pick up overall his 6th podium of the year, but it was his 3rd win. So he's got 6 podiums, 50% of them have been wins. Jay Drawbridge fought his way to a 2nd place finish to pick up his 4th podium finish last round out, and Brandon Glover picks up his 2nd podium of the year last time out at round 9 at Monza. And with that win, that actually put Jack Hoyle into the championship points lead, excuse me, over Felix Negwer, only by a couple points. And Jay Drawbridge has actually been able to move his way into 3rd in the championship point standings as well with that podium. So good for all 3 of those drivers. But guys that struggled, Adrian Storm, who has been really impressive so far this year since getting the call up from F2. Struggled mightily in the wet conditions at Monza, spun the car a couple times, pitted, went in for full wets as opposed to intermediates, and he just struggled with grip all day. He managed to come home 9th, but really that was more due to the rest of the drivers crashing out of the race. Thomas Scott picked up his 3rd DNF. Sondre Sorhaug crashed a good time. Vile Himalayan was actually leading the race at Monza when the rain came. He stayed out 1 extra lap on slicks, and it cost him dearly. He went off the track, lost the front wing, and subsequently completely destroyed the car and called it a day. Lewis Curtis picked up another DNF. Lewis Curtis picked up his 1st DNF of the year, and Gabriel Ryan picked up his 2nd DNF, coming home 14th last time out. So it looks like we've got 15 drivers today. We've got Adrian Storm, Lewis Curtis, Vile Himalayan, Ken Valhoon, Sondre Sorhaug, Aaron Collingwood, Gabriel Ryan, Felix Negwer, Tyler Rhodes, Jay Drawbridge, Jared Fosbury, Jack Hoyle, Brandon Glover, Lewis Marshall racing today, and Alexander Bastos, who actually put in a pretty impressive drive last time out. They actually led the race for a little while due to the pit strategy and the wet conditions, but was unable to hold off Jack Hoyle. In fact, nobody was able to hold off Jack Hoyle last time out. So we'll pick up Adrian Storm in the Mercedes. Got some guys on the out laps. Adrian Storm, his teammate Ville Himalayan, Aaron Collingwood in the Ferrari, Felix Negwer in the Sauber. He's followed closely by Jared Fosbury on his out lap. I believe Adrian Storm was the first driver out on his out lap. It may have been, actually it was probably Ville. The tire choices: Hypers, Ultras, and Supers. Hypers are only good for about 4 to 9 laps. And you got your options between 2-stop and 3-stop strategy. The pit stop delta here is about 20 to 22 seconds. And we're going to see, we've also already got a caution in Sector 3. We're going to watch Himalayan start his first hot lap. Down the first straightaway in the first chicane. Looks like he's followed closely by Adrian Storm in the Force India. Back end kicks out a little bit on the Mercedes. He's trying to get out to this next straightaway down into the hairpin. DRS slot open. A little bit of a lockup there heading into that corner. Into the DRS again. Wide there a little bit. We come up to this 3 right-hander apex corner here, cuts it tight. Caution sector 1 and 2 now. I'm going to assume a lot of these local yellows are going to be for quick on-offs, especially here, especially right there. The last couple corners, you see Himalayan calls it a day, and Storms, well, it doesn't call it a day, but he's going to not put up the time. Sondre on an out lap. We'll pick up Lewis Curtis. And Aaron Collingwood's the first driver to set a time, 1:36.961. And then Jared Fosbury follows it up with a 1:36.487. I'm sorry, 1:36.538. Lewis Marshall, 1:36.487 at the top of the charts. Tyler Rhodes, 1:35.086. That is a very impressive time. One and a half seconds faster than anybody else on the track. That is, that's either incredibly fast or there's a glitch in the timing and scoring, as we see one of the Red Bulls blows the first chicane. Not to take anything away from Tyler Rhodes, but a 1:35.0 versus Lewis Marshall, Jared Fosbury, and Aaron Collingwood's 1:36 times. Those are all 3 really fast drivers. And again, not trying to take anything away from Tyler Rhodes, but we ran into a timing and scoring issue like this in Mexico last year with Joshua Dangle, where he subsequently went way faster than the rest of the field due to a timing and scoring glitch from cutting a corner that wasn't allocated for. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, not taking anything away from Tyler Rhodes if it is legit, and that is a really impressive time. We'll see if anybody can even get remotely close to that. Adrian Storm is back out on another out lap, so is Vile Himalayan. Again, he was running a great race last time out at Monza, got called out in the weather. Guys started pitting, he went and tried to go one more lap on slicks in the wet, but wasn't able to pull it off. And now Jared Fosbury improves his time, 1:36.162. That's still 1.1 seconds off Tyler Rhodes' time of a 1:35.0. We've got Ivan Brito joining us in on the live chat. Always good to have a fellow F1 driver, or F2 I should say. Actually, Ivan Brito, I believe, is from SRL. And that is the Sandro racing team. And we continue to watch Aaron Collingwood. He's in the third sector. Dive into the pits and change his setup once more. So we still got a lot of guys that haven't set a time. Adrian Storm, Vile Himalayan, Cam Valhoon, Sondre Sorhaug, Gabriel Ryan, Jay Drawbridge is yet to set a time. Neither has Jack Hoyle. They're the other two big sluggers. And now Jack Hoyle, who's been pretty much the fastest guy all year, 1:35.478. So maybe Tyler Rhodes' time is legit, and if it is, that's a super fast time. Still just about a half second quicker than Jack Hoyle. Gabriel Ryan now, 1:35.716. So the times are starting to drop a little bit as these guys get their setups dialed in. 9 minutes left to play in the session. So now that we're actually starting to see some 1:35 times, the question is going to become, does anybody have anything for Tyler Rhodes' time of a 1:35.0? Pick up Vile Himalayan. Looks like he's just starting. No, he's not. He blows the first chicane. We'll try picking up Ken Valhoon. I think I'm saying his name right. He's yet to set a time. Glover finally sets a time in a 1:47.31. I'm going to assume that was not a hot lap for him. One of the Ferraris there cutting the chicane, let Cam go by. Oh, he cut that corner a little too much. That might invalidate his lap time. That oversteer, trying to get the power down. And Lewis Marshall has retired from the session. He was 6th quickest. And Valhoon is going to call it quits on that lap, so he's still yet to set a time. Pick up Jack Hoyle. Looks like Jack Hoyle is 2/10 up on his best time. Jack Hoyle's been super impressive since he's come into this league this year. And again, we can't catch anybody doing a frickin' lap. Glover finally sets a time, third quickest, 1:35.661. Looks like he's off the pace a little bit. We'll pick up Jared Fosbury. I don't know why Hoyle called it a day. He was 2/10 up at the last sector. At least on his time. Lewis Marshall's the only driver to have crashed out so far. 6th quickest so far. It's good to see Lewis back on track. I took a little bit of a break here from IRL the past couple weeks. And hopefully he was getting his mind reset, and hopefully he'll make a go here at it for the rest of the season. But definitely good to see him back on track. Well, we finally see somebody complete a lap, and it's going to be Jared Fosbury at a 1:36.228. Does not improve his time or his position. He's still currently 5th quickest. We're going to pick up Jay Drawbridge, who's 3rd in the points. Looks like he's currently on an out lap, but he's getting ready to come across the line here to start a hot lap, I would hope. He's one of a handful of drivers that have yet to set an official time. Vile Himalayan, Ken Valhoon, Sondre Sorhaug, and Jay Drawbridge, the only driver so far not to set a time. We're going to stick with Jay and see what he can put up. 16.9 in the first sector. Through the DRS range. Caution in Sector 3 once more. And Drawbridge now going to be coming towards us. He's in Sector 3. He's going through the triple right-hander here. Yas Marina, beautiful scenery here at Yas Marina. I'm not a big fan of the track itself. Again, it's one of those Formula 1 cookie-cutter tracks that they seem to love so much these days. A lot of hard 90-degree tight turns. Wow, a 134 flat from Jay Drawbridge. Wow, unbelievable. So Tyler Rhodes' time was a 135.0. We kind of questioned that in regards to some of these other guys that were faster. So Tyler Rhodes definitely put up a good time earlier in this qualifying round. Jay Drawbridge, 134 flat. And Vile Himalayan comes across the line with a 134.9, second quickest, but he's 9/10 off of Jay Drawbridge's time. Unbelievable. We stuck with it that whole time. That is a fast lap around the Yas Marina. Does anybody have an answer for Jay Drawbridge with 2:30 left to play in this qualifying session? And Vile Himalayan has retired from the session. I guess he feels a 134.9 is going to be the best he can do. We're going to pick up Aaron Collingwood and Jack Hoyle. Jack Hoyle on his out lap knocks down the pylon. Jack Hoyle's on an out lap. Aaron Collingwood's behind him on an out lap. Another guy we're going to want to keep an eye on is Felix Negwer. Felix Negwer is second in the points. Recently just lost the championship points lead as of round 9 in Monza, when Jack Hoyle picked up his 3rd win of the season. Felix Negwer came in 5th last round. Struggled in the wet a little bit. You see one of the Haas's there getting out of the way. Jay Drawbridge is now retired from the session as well, 134.0. He probably feels it's safe that he is not going to be under attack. So here's Jack Hoyle. He's coming towards the end of his outlap. Trying to get some heat into those tires. And here he goes. He should be off and running around this last corner. Gets the power down. Jack Hoyle comes across, 42 seconds remaining on the clock, so this will be it for him. This is going to be his last chance. Does he have anything for Jay Drawbridge? Currently 4th quickest, and now Alexander Bastos has called it a day. 11th quickest for him with a 137.561. And continue to watch Jack Hoyle on his final hot lap. Ken Valhoon is now called it a day. Brandon Glover jumps to second, 134.758. He had pole position a couple of rounds ago at Hungary. It was his first pole position of the year. He picked up a podium last time out. It was his second podium finish back at Monza. And Felix Negwer has retired from the session. Currently only 7th quickest. We continue to ride on board with Jack Hoyle. Looks like Adrian Storm is done, 10th quickest. Lewis Curtis is done, 13th fastest. Lewis Marshall called it a day, 487. He's 9th quickest. Tyler Rhodes is now calling it a day, 4th quickest so far. Here comes Jack Hoyle. This is going to be close, folks. This is going to be really close. Puts the power down, 134.672, good enough for 2nd quickest. And we're going to pick up Aaron Collingwood. Oh, and he's blown his hot lap. So we'll pick up Jared Fosbury. So far, 8th quickest. Collingwood runs extremely wide. And Collingwood crashes into the background on a 135.643 for Fosbury. That's good enough for 6th quickest. Actually, it's now going to be 7th as Gabriel Ryan comes across the line. He's going to take the 6th spot. And I'm not sure what Collingwood was doing there towards the end of the qualifying session. I don't know if he ran into an issue with Fosbury and was trying to retaliate. So here is your starting order. It's Jay Drawbridge, Jack Hoyle, Brandon Glover, Ville Himalayan, Tyler Rhodes, Gabriel Ryan, Jared Fosbury, Felix Negwer, Lewis Marshall, Adrian Storm, Aaron Collingwood, 11th quickest, Alexander Bastos, Lewis Curtis, Cam Valhoon, Sondre Sorhaug. Cam Valhoon and Sondre Sorhaug are the only 2 drivers that did not set a time. Not sure if they, I know Cam looked like he retired early. Sondre, I'm not sure if he could quite get a setup. Oh, Sondre Sorhaug invalidated his time in the second and the last corner. So that's why his time didn't come up. So it looks like he tried making a one shot at qualifying. So pole position goes to Jay Drawbridge, who is 3rd in points. Lining up next to him will be Jack Hoyle, your championship points leader. However, Felix Negwer is all the way down in 7th or 8th position, I believe. Now, yesterday in the F2 race, Marcel Haller was your pole sitter, and he got caught up in a lap 1 melee, dropped him all the way through the field. See what happens with Jay Drawbridge. But Jay Drawbridge, coming off his 4th podium finish last round out in Monza, will definitely be looking to put his stamp on today's race, starting from pole. Jack Hoyle, your new championship points leader, is going to be looking to take away that top position from Drawbridge and dropping this flag. Brandon Glover looking to get on the podium again. He's coming off of a podium finish from last round out. It was his 2nd time finishing on the podium this year. Vile Himalayan is going to want to make up for the last time out where he was leading at Monza, subsequently crashed out in the wet. Tyler Rhodes, we thought his time was a little off, but his time was right on at a 1:35.0 during qualifying. He'll be looking to put some points on the board and move through the field. He's starting 5th. Gabriel Ryan picked up a couple penalties back in round 8 at Austria. He had a DNF last time out. He was the first driver to crash out. Picked up his 2nd DNF in Monza last round out. We'll be looking to finish this race. Jared Fosbury is your championship points leader in F2. He's looking to make a name for himself in F1 as he drives the Sauber with his teammate Felix Negwer. Negwer was your championship points leader up until the final round, or up until last round, I should say. He's now 2nd in the points. He'll be looking to try and make his way through the field. And Lewis Marshall, who we haven't seen in a few weeks, as he takes out all the brake markers. He's back in his Ferrari. Hopefully he's back for the season. He'll be looking to make up for lost time, see if he can work his way through the field. Adrian Storm says he wants to try and stay out of the main driver's way. Didn't want to go any quicker during qualifying. He'll be starting 10th, but he's been very impressive so far this year, and I say race your heart out. Aaron Collingwood will be starting 11th. Alexander Bastos has been pretty impressive the last couple rounds, led a few laps at Monza in the wet. He'll be looking to work his way through the field once more to try and get some points on the board. And Lewis Curtis. Lewis picked up his 1st DNF last round out. He'll be looking to finish this race. And Cam Valhoon, we haven't talked much about, but he'll be looking to put some points on the board. And Sondre Sorhaug will round out your top 15 drivers starting in today's race. Sondre struggles to get through the field, but he's known for putting up the fastest lap of the race. We'll see if he can do it again to pick up some bonus points. Lights out. Time to run what you brung. It looks like a good start for Jay Drawbridge. Looks like one of the Haas's there dropping through the field. Rough start for him in the back. Oh, and the Mercedes, the Sauber and the Ferrari touch wheels heading out of turn 1. And already Jack Hoyle is looking to make a move on Jay Drawbridge as they head down into the first chicane. Drawbridge slams the door on him. And it's a little too early for that. Down into the hairpin. Drawbridge gets the power down a little bit better and pulls out from Jack Hoyle just a little bit. You see them fan out on this long straightaway. Come down to a quick hairpin here. And then back out onto another straightaway. Oh, and Hoyle power sliding the car coming out of the corner. Lost a chunk of time there. Jay Drawbridge pulls the gap. And look at this, Felix Negwer is in this gaggle of cars back here. He's moved his way 4 wide as they head into the next corner. Oh, and they bang wheels in the Ferrari and the Saubers, and Negwer's going to run wide, blow the corner. He was up to 6th. Oh, and he makes contact with the Ferrari coming back on track. That's Aaron Collingwood. It looks like he's going to give up the position to Collingwood, runs wide on the outside, lets the 2 Ferraris by. Now Fosbury's going to make a move on his teammate. The 2 Ferraris run wide. So, oh, and there's a touch there. And somehow, Felix Negwer works his way back through that to get back to 7. A lot of shuffling going on in the back. Meanwhile, Jay Drawbridge is pulled out to a little over half a second lead over Jack Hoyle. Looks like Tyler Rhodes is looking to make a move on Brandon Glover. Glover lost a spot to his teammate Vile Himalayan. Look at this. Rhodes picks up a little bit of a slipstream. Glover's going to take the more defensive line. Big lockup there from Tyler Rhodes. Tries a crossover move. Not going to make it work there. Tries to get the power down. And again, Glover's got the more defensive line. To the outside goes Tyler Rhodes. Not going to be able to make it work there. And it looks like Aaron Collingwood is starting to come into frame in this battle for fourth. Meanwhile, Jay Drawbridge is now pulled out to a 1.5 second gap over Jack Hoyle. Meanwhile, you've got a big battle going on in the back with Lewis Marshall, Alexander Bastos, and Jared Fosbury. These three guys are all within 1.5 seconds of each other. We're going to pick up Vile Himalayan now, because Himalayan's actually closed the gap down to Jack Hoyle. We've got a couple of guys, Lewis Curtis, Adrian Storm, and Ken Balhoun, heading into the pits early. I'm going to assume because of wing damage. Oh no, and Lewis Curtis is retired from the session. I can only assume it must have hit pit wall trying to get into the pits. So Lewis Curtis is out already on lap 3. Lap 3, the DRS should be enabled this time around. And there you see the DRS slot open on the Mercedes of Vile Himalayan as he tries to close that gap down to Jack Hoyle. He's getting another DRS run, going to go to the outside. Ooh, Hoyle making it tough. Himalayan's still trying to find a way around. Jack Hoyle has not been able to make it work. Oh, and look at this. He runs very wide coming out of that corner. I don't know if he forgot where he was on track or picked up some aero wash off of the back end of Jack Hoyle's car, but that's going to put him out of position. Meanwhile, Aaron Collingwood is starting to close the gap now down to Brandon Glover. DRS slot open on the Ferrari. He's got a good run coming out of the corner. He's going to try and move to the inside. He's going to try and outbrake him. He tried, but Glover takes the more defensive line. Had that inside advantage going into the next corner. Looks like we may be having some stream issues. If you're experiencing stream issues, I apologize. Not sure if that's my internet. I usually don't have a problem with my internet. Or if YouTube is having an issue. Either way, we're going to pick up Collingwood. He's still trying to work his way around Brandon Glover. See, there's a battle unfolding in the back there. It's Felix Negwer is closing the gap to Tyler Rhodes, and then on the backside of him is Lewis Marshall and his Ferrari, followed by Jared Fosbury. So 5th through 9th is actually pretty close together. Collingwood has lost a little bit of a gap, but here we go. Felix Negwer trying to get to the inside of Tyler Rhodes. For Onyx Mer, Jack Hoyle is currently running second. That is TTG Squeezy, to answer your PSN question. Jack Hoyle is currently your championship points leader, and we're watching Felix Negwer, who's third in points, make a move to pick up the 6th spot over Tyler Rhodes. Actually, Felix Negwer is second in points. Your leader of the race is Jay Trowbridge. He's currently second in the point standings. Collingwood still trying to work on the backside of Brandon Glover's Mercedes, and then he is followed by Felix Negwer, Tyler Rhodes, Lewis Marshall, and Jared Fosbury. All 4 or 5 of these cars are getting close together. 3-second time penalty for Sondre Sorhaug, who's currently running in the 12th position. He's 0.7 of a second behind Gabriel Ryan for the 11th spot. See, Collinswood's car was getting a little twitchy coming out of that corner. And it looks like now Felix Negwer has caught this battle, because now he's almost within a second. Can he get that DRS advantage on Aaron Collingwood's Ferrari? Meanwhile, things are getting a little separated up in front. Jay Trowbridge is pulled out to a 1.5 second lead over Jack Hoyle. Hoyle's about almost 2 seconds in front of Vile Himalayan from third. Then you've got 4.5 second gap back to Brandon Glover, and this is where you pick up this action. We've got Glover, followed by Collingwood, followed by Negwer. That's a 3-way battle that's turning into for a 4th. We see Lewis Marshall making a move on Tyler Rhodes. Oh, and it's 3 wide. Here comes Fosbury on the inside. 3 wide as they head into that corner. Oh, and Rhodes is going to push Fosbury wide. Fosbury gets the power down. He's on the curb. Now you've got Collingwood. He's side by side with Glover. Glover cuts the corner a little bit. And 3-way battle for 4th is now unfolding. Collingwood has to take evasive action, go around the outside of Glover's Mercedes. Here comes Negwer. Ooh, he thought about stuffing it down the inside there, that right-hander. Ooh, and Collingwood almost gives him a little bump and run. 3-way battle for 4th right now, and you see Lewis Marshall coming into front. Oh, and Collingwood's car. A little bit of snap oversteer at that last corner. And now Negwer on the back end of Collingwood's Ferrari. Ooh, it looked like a little bit of oversteer there from Negwer Sauber coming out of the S's. DRS slot open for Collingwood and Felix Negwer. Brandon Glover's gapped these two a little bit. Negwer jumps to the inside. He's not close enough to make a move. Tucks back in line. DRS slots open again. A little bit shorter of a straightaway this time around. Vile Himalayan just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Three-way battle, nobody able to make a move. This is a really hard track to pass on. You're going to be tucked up right on the rear of one of these cars at one of the straightaways before diving down into the chicanes or the hairpin in order to get that position. These guys have been following each other nose to tail here for the last couple laps. Now working lap 8. 20 laps to go. 3-second time penalty for Tyler Rhodes. And something has happened to Tyler Rhodes. He may have pitted. He's all the way back in 12th. Yes, Rhodes, Storm, and Cam Valhoon have all pitted. Continue to watch Felix Negwer work on the backside of Brandon Glover. I'm sorry, on Aaron Collingwood. Collingwood's working on the backside of Brandon Glover's Mercedes. I don't want to look out the back of the Sauber. There's nothing there. Oh, and look at this. Glover ran a little bit wide. Collingwood puts the power down, makes the move. And Glover's about to lose another spot to Negwer. He's taking the more defensive line. He's going to try and push Negwer wide, but Negwer's got the DRS advantage. Ooh, and Negwer going to have the advantage on the next corner. And yes, Brandon Glover loses 2 spots in a set of corners there, unfortunately. Now can Negwer get back to the back end of Collingwood's Ferrari? Doesn't look like Brandon Glover is done with this battle just yet, though. Glover's lost touch with those 2 cars, and it looks like he might fall into the clutches of Lewis Marshall. Here comes Marshall into the frame. So we're working lap 9 now. We're going to start getting into the window, the pit window of these Ultra Softs. Doesn't look like a whole lot of guys started on the Hypers. The Hypers are usually good 4 to 9 laps. But the Ultras you're going to start running into now, between like now and lap 15 maybe. DRS slot open for Negwer. Negwer got a good run coming out of that chicane. He's going to make the pass on Collingwood. Glover to the back of Collingwood's car. And Glover would like to get one of those positions back. So 4th, 5th, and 6th. Running within a second and a half of each other. And while we were watching that battle unfold, looks like we missed the battle for the lead. Jack Hoyle caught and got by Jay Drawbridge. This must have recently happened. Drawbridge is not that far out of touch from Jack Hoyle, but I am sorry to report that we missed the pass for the lead, unfortunately. Still within DRS range. Can Drawbridge fight to get it back? Oh, and it looked like Hoyle may have cut the chicane there. That's going to be a time advantage. So Jack Hoyle cut the chicane. Jay Drawbridge down to the inside with the DRS advantage. It looks like he is going to take the lead back. Oh, they bump wheels. Hoyle trying to be aggressive and shut the door. Drawbridge to the inside. Makes the move. And Jay Drawbridge retakes the lead now. And while these two have been battling it out, Philae Himalayan has closed the gap down to less than 2 seconds. Hoyle very deep from the brakes into that corner. And real quick, we're going to switch back to look like Collingwood's making the move back on Glover. Glover was trying to get the position back on him to the inside. Collingwood runs wide. Cuts it back across. And now Hoyle to the inside, and it looks like Jay Drawbridge just jumped into the pits. And Brandon Glover takes back the 5th position. Aaron Collingwood looked like he's struggling for grip. Collingwood dives into the pits, along with Jared Fosbury, Gabriel Ryan. Meanwhile, Sondre Sorhaug stays out. That's going to jump him through the field. So Lewis Marshall is now up to the 5th spot. Brandon Glover has fought hard to get back into the 4th position.
And the question is going to be, where does Collingwood and Jay Drawbridge come back out? Drawbridge just left the pits. He's now 6th. Jack Hoyle gets the lead back. Vile Himalayan is now closing the gap on him at a rapid rate. Gap down to a second. The question is how long does Hoyle and Himalayan stay out? As well as some of these other guys. Brandon Glover's yet to pit. Felix Negwer currently running 3rd. And it looks like Vile Himalayan is going to dive into the pits, as is Jack Hoyle. So we'll pick up Felix Negwer. See if Negwer stays out. Negwer dives into the pits as well. So what's Glover's move? Glover's going to stay out, and he's going to probably pick up the lead of this race for sure. Followed in tow by Lewis Marshall and Jay Drawbridge. So Drawbridge trying to use the undercut strategy to get that position back. So once Glover and Marshall pit, Jay Drawbridge will be your leader. However, Jack Hoyle comes out of the pits 4th, which would be 2nd once the top 2 cars finally do pit. So pit strategy is key right now. The next question becomes is how many drivers are going to run a one-stop strategy? Is anybody going to try for 2 and go for an undercut again? And you see Marshall trying to work his way around Glover, and here comes Jay Drawbridge into the fold. Fresher tires, he's on the super softs as opposed to the ultras. The ultras are about worn out at this point. Oh, and you see this Marshall to the inside. He's going to get the position. Jay Drawbridge needs to be careful. He needs to really pick his spot to make a good, clean pass. Jay Drawbridge has been called out a couple times this year in some melees. Ooh, and he's down to the inside. Ooh, Glover runs wide. I don't know if there was contact there or not. Glover's going to pick up a 3-second time penalty for that as well, unfortunately. And Marshall stays out one more time. Brandon Glover is going to head into the pits. So here goes Jay Drawbridge around the outside of Lewis Marshall to take the top spot. So Jack Hoyle is currently running 3rd. Marshall will be his next target. And see, Marshall started the race on Super, so he can run them a little longer, but they're going to be starting to get worn out here as well. You saw how much grip he didn't have in comparison to the fresh Super Softs on Jay Drawbridge's car. Jack Hoyle also on Supers. Hoyle has not closed that gap up to Lewis Marshall as quickly as I thought he would. And you see Vile Himalayan, he's starting to close in on Jack Hoyle. So the battle for the top 3 spots isn't over by far. See Drawbridge just leaving the frame there, but here comes Jack Hoyle. Now does Lewis Marshall pit this lap, or does he stay out for another go-round? Obviously starting to struggle with grip. He already lost the lead. 3-second time penalty for Jack Hoyle as well. That could definitely be a factor in the finishing spot of this race. And Marshall's not going to give up the position very easily. So Hoyle gets the 2nd spot from Marshall heading into the turn 1 complex. Now they're through the S's, and here comes Vile Himalayan. Sondre Sorhaug just entered the pits, and a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for Sondre speeding into the pit lane. That's going to cost him. Oh, look at this Vile on the outside. Now down to the inside. He's going to push Marshall wide, and now Marshall's going to fall back to 4th. We're going to pick up Aaron Collingwood, Tyler Rhodes, and Felix Negwer, 5th, 6th, and 7th. You can throw a blanket over these guys. They're so close together. Collingwood pulled a gap a little bit on Rhodes. Negwer making a move. Negwer gets around Tyler Rhodes. Closing that gap to Aaron Collingwood. Gabriel Ryan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, we're going to try and keep tabs on the timing and scoring between Jack Hoyle and Jay Drawbridge. And Hoyle has got that lead down to 2.5 seconds. So Drawbridge going to have a fight on his hands come here in the next few laps. Negwer had a much tighter line there. Going through the S's. Negwer trying to get that power down a little bit earlier. See a little puff of smoke out of the left front. Negwer. Moves to the outside. Oh, and they touch wheels. Tries to push him wide. Collingwood's going to lose the position. And around goes Collingwood. He's not going to be happy about that. Can he get the car going? He's going to lose a number of positions. Hard racing and a little bit of a touch and trying to get on the power a little too early maybe cost him. He went around a little bit. That's just hard racing right there. Meanwhile, back at the front, Jack Hoyle has got the lead down to 2.2 seconds from Jay Drawbridge. 12 laps to go left in this race. Tyler Rhodes pits. Here we see Jared Fosbury starting to catch the backside of Brandon Glover's Mercedes. Oh, look at him catch up under braking. And there's a pointless view. So we'll hop on board with Jared Fosbury. Fosbury is actually your championship points leader in IRL F2. Finished second yesterday to his teammate Paco Suarez. They both drive the Renault, so the Constructors' Championship for Team Renault is well in the hands of Paco Suarez and Jared Fosbury. They are walking away with the Constructors' Championship. Meanwhile, Fosbury's been walking away with the Driver Championship in the F2 League. And Lewis Marshall is finally going to pit on lap 17. From the 4th spot. Caution in sector 1 and 2, and Can Valhoon has left the session.
Possibly an internet issue, possibly a rage quit. Looks like he's got some wing damage on the left front of the car. The end plate is gone. Looks like he might have had maybe some contact. And the next closest car to him would have been Adrian Storm, but that's well behind. So Ken Valhoon calls it a day. His car goes AI. Aaron Collingwood makes another pit stop. Comes out 12th. And now the battle for the lead is on. Jay Drawbridge has a 1.5 second lead over Jack Hoyle. Jack Hoyle's got a 1.5 second lead over the third place car, Vile Himalayan. So we may have a three-way car battle unfolding before us for the top 3 spots. And in the midst of this, if something happened, it looks like Felix Negwer would be in the catbird seat if something happened to those top 3 drivers. Because he's currently running 4th. Now, he did have that contact with Aaron Collingwood that may or may not be reviewed after the race by the stewards. That's yet to be seen. But for now, Felix Negwer may be in the catbird seat.
As Jack Hoyle is now almost within a second, and he is now in DRS range. And he'll have that advantage if he can stay there. And Lewis Marshall just picked up a 3-second time penalty. So this is your points leader trying to take on Jay Drawbridge, who's 3rd in points. And this could ultimately come down to a fight for the championship. 2nd in the points is not here. He's currently running 4th, Felix Negwer. And it is getting close now. Vile Himalayan has not been able to close the gap down to these two as fast as he would like. You can see it now. Jay Drawbridge is definitely going to be under pressure this lap. And it looks like Gabriel Ryan's going side by side with Lewis Marshall. That is for the 7th spot. The Ferraris are having a pretty rough day. Lewis Marshall back in 8th. Aaron Collingwood, he was fighting with Felix Negwer, but Collingwood had a little bit of contact with Negwer's car, spun around, lost a handful of positions, had to pit. But Collingwood will be on the freshest tires, and it looks like Collingwood is just making a move now to get past Alexander Bastos for the 11th spot. And Sondre Sorhaug will be his next target. And we watch Jack Hoyle here go to the outside. So even though Jack Hoyle has caught the back end of Jay Drawbridge's car, he hasn't been able to get close enough to try and really make a move on him at the end of one of these straightaways. The gap back to Vile Himalayan is still 1.5 to 1.7, depending on which corners they're going through. Oh, and look at this. Hoyle tries to make a move there. It's a really tight spot to try and make a pass. He tried to stuff it down the inside. That could have ended in tears for both drivers. And Jay Drawbridge has been a really good, really quiet driver throughout the course of this season. He's been putting up a lot of good finishes, but 3 times this year he's been called out for some contact from another driver that would subsequently end his day. And he's never complained about it. He's never pushed back. He hasn't been overly aggressive with anybody. But how many times can a driver get taken out before he decides to start taking other people out? And look at this, to the inside. Hoyle, they bump wheels a little bit. Drawbridge trying to get the power down. and Drawbridge not willing to give up the position. Hoyle's going to push him wide. Drawbridge off the track, gets back on, but here comes Felix Himalayan. It's now a three-way car battle. First, second, and third, they're in the frame. Drawbridge back to the inside of Hoyle's car, almost puts the right front part of the wing under the left rear tire of Hoyle's car. And a 3-second time penalty for Sondre Sorhaug. Remember, time penalties are probably going to be an issue. They've been issued all year in IRL. We've seen a lot of guys lose positions from their finishing spots because of time penalties. Now, Jack Hoyle's getting the power down. Looks like he's going to start to pull away from this battle here. So this three-way battle is now going to be a two-way battle for probably second spot. 8 laps remaining. They're going to cross the line here. 20 of 28. Drawbridge looks like he's going to fall into the clutches of Felix Himalayan. Oh, and you see Himalayan run very wide coming out of the S's, hopping over the curbs. I did that yesterday in the F2 race, and I lost the back end of the car and smashed into the Armco. My day was done. Drawbridge is starting to reel Hoyle back in just a little bit. He's got that DRS advantage. He can stick with it. You see how much he closes up under braking here. So now Drawbridge, it's still a three-way battle. It's not over yet. I know Drawbridge wants to get that top spot back. Hoyle's been a little bit quicker than everybody through the Sector 3 area. The triple right-hander. And these hard 90-degree turns that end this Sector 3 section. You can see through that Sector 3 section how much Jack Hoyle, he pulls out by half a second over Drawbridge. Drawbridge is able to reel him in as long as he's got the DRS advantage. He's about to lose that advantage, though. It's 1.001. He's going to miss it by 1,000th of a second. But Felix Himalayan still has the DRS advantage on Jay Drawbridge. Ooh, you can hear the tires squeal as he locks up the fronts going into that chicane. And there's Aaron Collingwood picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's currently running 10th. So Jack Hoyle now has been able to pull out over the second gap, so that's going to drop Jay Drawbridge out of the DRS advantage. Felix Himalayan there is there to strike. Meanwhile, we've got Felix Negwer running in 4th, Brandon Glover 5th, Jared Fosbury in 6th, Lewis Marshall 7th, Gabriel Ryan 8th, Tyler Rhodes 9th, Aaron Collingwood currently 10th, but Sondre Sorhaug is closing the gap into him. So Collingwood may not even pick up a championship point at the end of this race, which would be very uncharacteristic. And a tough outing today for Scuderia Ferrari, running currently 7th and 10th. Rough day for Tyler Rhodes as well. Tyler Rhodes started mid-pack, started in 5th position, I believe, had a 1:35.0, had a good qualifying time, put him up towards the top end. He just picked up a 3-second time penalty there. Here we go to the inside. Vile thought about it. Thought twice, comes back. Drawbridge takes a more defensive line and takes it away from Vile Himalayan. Ooh, and they bang wheels just a little bit. Uh-oh, and it looks like Lewis Marshall is battling it out with Jared Fosbury. That's your battle for 6th. We're going to continue to watch this battle for second. Oh, and Fosbury just picked up a 3-second time penalty, so him fighting for that position might be all for naught. Laps winding down, working lap 24 of 28. You see Jack Hole's car twitch as it comes out of the corner. So does Jay Drawbridge. 3-second time penalty for Sondre Sorhaug. Sondre still trying to find a way around Aaron Collingwood for the 10th and final points paying spot. He's also trying to set up the fastest time to pick up a bonus point. And here we got another 3-second time penalty for Jared Fosbury. That's 2 in the less than half a lap. Meanwhile, Jack Hoyle's pulled out to almost a 3-second lead over these two as they continue to battle for the second spot. Vile Himalayan has not been able to find a way around Jay Drawbridge's McLaren. Oh, and he bumps into the back of him. Locked up the front wheels, give him a little bit of a bump. I saw a little bit of piece of wing come off of Himalayan's car. Not sure if that's going to affect his handling or not. Might have a little bit of wing damage on that left front. He might be getting a little bit of a push, some aero wash off of the front of the car, or off of the back of Jay Drawbridge's car, I should say. It looks like Himalayan may have a little bit of an issue with the handling of the car. There's a little piece of wing that came off. You can see how much Jay Drawbridge has gapped him now. And he's still got the DRS advantage as of right now. The back end swings out on the Mercedes there. He's now almost a second off. He's still just barely there for that DRS. And Jared Fosbury heads into the pits from 7th spot. It's going to drop him through the field, move up Lewis Marshall, Gabriel Ryan, Tyler Rhodes. And Drawbridge is now gapped. Not quite. He gapped him for a second. Seemed like he got a good run coming out of that chicane. You can see the cracked part of the wing there on the left front of your screen. You see how it's broken a little bit. Caution in sector 1 and 2. Not sure who that would be for. And we see Sondre Sorhaug does get around Aaron Collingwood for that 10th and final points paying spot. Collingwood has struggled mightily today. After having contact with Felix Negwer while battling him out for the 7th spot, I believe it was, possibly even the 6th spot, he has fallen through the field. He had to make an extra pit stop for new tires. And things have just unraveled for Collingwood, and he's now going to pick up a 5-second stop and go penalty for corner cutting. So the day continues to unravel for Collingwood. And it looks like he's going to try and stuff it in on Sondre Sorhaug. I don't know if there's a little bit of over-aggression here, some malice maybe. 5-second corner cutting is a little extreme. Meanwhile, Himalayan, battle for second, tries to make the move. And again, Drawbridge takes away the line. Oh, but Drawbridge picks up a 3-second time penalty. Defending the line, cut the corner a little too tight. There's going to be 2 to go this time across the line. And here we go, Vile Himalayan to the outside, and Drawbridge touches him. Oh, no. So Drawbridge with a little bit of contact there. Not sure if he was trying to block or if he was trying to get back to the racing line to make the corner. But Himalayan is now out of this battle here. So Jack Hoyle's going to come across the line. 2 laps to go. He's got a 4.7 second lead over Jay Drawbridge, who just had contact with Vile Himalayan. Vile is now 4 seconds off Jay Drawbridge's car. Then it's back to Felix Negwer, who's starting to get a little bit of pressure from Brandon Glover right there, 4th and 5th. Lewis Marshall's currently running all by his lonesome in the 6th spot. Gabriel Ryan, looks like he's struggling for grip, has quietly worked his way into the 7th spot. Tyler Rhodes, 8th. Jared Fosbury is 9th. And Sondre Sorhaug is still being hounded by Aaron Collingwood for the final points-paying position in 10th. Collingwood is 11th. That's going to round out your top 10 points-paying positions. Collingwood 11th, Bastos 12th. Adrian Storm has struggled this race as well, running 13th. Ken Valhoud had left the session. His car has gone AI. And Lewis Curtis crashed out early in the race trying to make a pit stop. So this right now is currently your closest battle on track. However, we may want to watch Felix Negwer and Brandon Glover, see if Brandon Glover has anything for Felix Negwer. Glover has been a real hit and miss so far this year, so anything he can do to put some more points on the board would definitely be well suited for him. He started off strong in a 4th place finish back in round 1, and he backed it up with another 4th place finish in round 2, and in round 3 in Mexico he picked up his first podium of the year where he finished 2nd. Looks like he missed round 4 and round 5. And round 6. So he missed 3 rounds. He came back in round 7 where he put himself on pole, and even though he started from pole, unfortunately he had a bad race. He only ended up coming home 8th that time. Finished 7th in Austria, but got back on the podium last time out, so been an up and down season so far for Brandon Glover. Doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to make a move to pick up Jack Hoyle. Jack Hoyle's been on a tear all year since coming into this league. He's got 6 podiums this year, 3 of them being wins. He's your championship points leader. He's got 2 pole positions so far this year. Been incredibly fast. Jay Drawbridge, he's got 4 podiums on the year. And Alexander Bastos is retired from the session. You see Jay Drawbridge come across the line, and he's going to pick up his 4th win of the year. Jay Drawbridge is going to come home with another podium finish, followed by Vile Himalayan. And here comes Felix Negwer. Felix Negwer will come home 4th. Brandon Glover going to come home 5th. He'll be followed by Lewis Marshall in the Scuderia Ferrari in 6th. Gabriel Ryan quietly worked his way into 7th spot today. Tyler Rhodes
Tyler Rhodes is actually going to pick up the 7th spot, it looks like, due to time penalties. So Gabriel Ryan would be 8th. Jared Fosbury 9th. And Sondre Sorhaug will quietly come home in the 10th and final spot. The 10th and final points paying spot, I should say. Not sure what happened to Alexander Bastos, but it looks like he's crashed out. Aaron Collingwood will come home. Well, looks like he was doing a donut. Aaron Collingwood will come home, looks like 12th. Adrian Storm, actually, looks like Adrian Storm might have picked up the 10th final points paying spot because of time penalties, so we'll get the official finishing order here in a second. So there it is, Jack Hoyle, a familiar sight. Picks up his 4th win of the year. It's his 7th podium finish of the year. Jay Drawbridge gets his second place in a row. So Jack Hoyle, Jay Drawbridge, Vilay Himalayan, Felix Negwer, Brandon Glover, Lewis Marshall, Tyler Rhodes, Gabriel Ryan, Jared Fosbury, Adrian Storm round out your top 10 points paying positions, followed by Sondre Sorhaug, Aaron Collingwood, Alexander Bastos with the DNF, Ken Valhoon left early, and Lewis Curtis crashed out early while trying to get into the pits. And that has been round 10 in Abu Dhabi for IRL. In what has been a very, very interesting season. Now, if you want to check out more IRL action, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel where you can check out previous races from prior seasons and this season. You can also check us out again next week when we do F1, F2, and GT3. So to start that off, we'll do the F2 race on Saturday. That'll be the Chinese Grand Prix. That'll be round 11. That'll be followed later in the day by the Gran Turismo Sport Group 3 League, where they will finish out their season, which I believe is going to be, that's going to be at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. That should be a very interesting race to watch. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the F1 League, as opposed to F2, do the round 11 at China as well. So be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to IRL YouTube channel. Be sure to check us out online, International Racing League-IRL.com. You can also like and subscribe and comment to my channel, KAMIKAZE-FOX. Check out more racing vids. I race in the Gran Turismo Group 3 League. I also do some F2. My F2 videos usually is me wrecking and then commentating for the rest of the race. So if you want to check them out, by all means, make sure you smash that like button, and we'll catch you guys at the next round.